Sony's are almost the same. If you guys know the big threes, have you guys heard about the big threes? Big three, anyone? Even the person with 7, the big three, the menu. Okay, let me make it easy. The menu, the new updates that Sony introduced, and then the FX3s you are able to update, and then when you open your menu, you will see the bigger settings like the texts, the audio, the files, the frames, the frame rates, everything is seen boldly within your screen. Not like how you would see an A7 III menu when you opened. I think how the screen looks, the menu, there's so much, like a lot, that when you start looking through what you want, scrolling, and you'll take time to find the settings that you want. But with an FX3, that's what we're working on. Oh, it's still working on it. Now, this is the menu of the big threes. Everything is seen clearly. You can see your eyes, or you can see your shutter speed, you can see your frame rates, you can see everything right within your screen. You see? So now this is the big three that they talked about, the menu. Any questions so far? Any question before we proceed? Am I too fast or using terms that's confusing? No, right? I'm going to move with your pace, Alexis, okay? We are going to look at recording formats. How do you get the best settings to record for what platform? I move this?
No. There's something we are waiting for. To teach you about.
So I wait?
Yeah. No, keep on that. It's later.
Okay. You just send the entire screen. Yeah, what you should do, just when you go to monitor settings, then choose screen and send everything. Yes, we're going to look at frame rates, shutter speed, delivery workflow, how you deliver for what platform, okay? Like how you deliver for TikTok, for Instagram, for YouTube. Then when time allows, we'll film something and then throw it on DaVinci, and then see how we can transform the footage to look exactly how your eyes would want to see for different platforms, whether phone, computer, or TV, okay? Yeah. So let's wait for these guys first finish, so because I'll have to show. It's working now? Okay. Are you guys going to take note? Some will take notes. I'm saying some with notebooks. Is there some key points that you guys should note down, you will refer to, even when you're filming, during your free time? You always remember that, okay, these are the settings that would work for whatever platform that you're creating for, okay? Yeah. So we are going to look at understanding frame rates, the common frame rates for different deliveries. Like if you want to deliver for broadcast or cinema or corporate videos, like online, guys who create videos for TikTok, Instagram Reels. And I know all of you probably are familiar with the Reels, because that's what our generation is known for, creating Reels, like filming for TikTok. We're always on TikTok. I think we spend 70% of our time on TikTok, right? So yes, when you're delivering for cinemas, for example, if let's say it's a documentary, it's like a film that you've worked on or anything, the best frame rate when you're using Sony is 24 frames per second. You understand frames? You guys understand frames? So if I just say 24, 25, or 30, or 29.9, you guys will understand that, right? Yes. So when you're delivering for cinema, it has to be 24. I remember some years back I made a mistake. I was delivering something for broadcast, and I exported in 30 frames per second, and the guys in the control room did not know. They didn't really bother to check, and then when they tried playing, it froze. I was meant to deliver in 25 frames per second, and I delivered in 30. And for them, because they were late and the files reached late, they just queued it and it froze. So they had to stop, convert quickly, and then run it again. So it's very, very important to understand frame rates for different deliverables, like when you're delivering for TV, which is broadcast, when you're delivering for cinemas and all that. So there is 25 frames per second. 25 is for broadcast, like I mentioned, but some systems use 24. UBC, for example. So deliver 25, stop, convert quickly, and then run it again. So it's very, very important to understand frame rates for different deliverables, like when you're delivering for TV, which is broadcast, when you're delivering for cinemas and all that. So there is 25 frames per second. 25 is for broadcast, like I mentioned, but some systems use 24. UBC, for example, 24 frames. So deliver 25, it won't work. So as a creative, you sometimes or most of the time you need to ask, where are you going to put this content, or where are you going to play this content, okay? So understanding that will then help you guys make that decision at the start. Not when you already made a mistake, we're like, okay, your file has refused to play. You convert it, and then they send it back to you, convert it, and then send it back. So you need to understand that. So if you want to deliver something in slow motion, in your editing, and you want the video to be in slow motion, at least 50 frames per second. We do 50 frames, and Sony's can go up to 120. FX3 can go up to 120 frames per second. And I think S7 II as well, 3 can do that as well, up to 120 frames per second. That is if you want to slow it down in post-production. And when you're filming sports or anything that is fast-paced and you want to slow it down, 50 or 60 for sports is actually ideal, okay? I'm just going to run quickly on that. And if you're using the shutter angles, how many of you understand shutter angle? The shutter speed and the shutter angle. Two people. 3. Now, shutter angle is see like how you understand shutter speed? Shutter speed. All of you understand shutter speed, right? Now, shutter angle works just like shutter speed. Like for Sony cameras, you have a choice. If you want to use shutter speed, you change your setting to shutter speed. If you understand shutter angle, you change your setting to shutter angle. You're free to change the shutter angle. So when you're using shutter angle, anything that is 24 frames per second has to be 1/50th frames per second. You've seen something like, I seeing this? Now, this 1/100 is 50. Is 50 frames per second. Yeah, 50 frames. So if you want to, I needed to, who said this? I needed to see the monitor, and also this is for display. So now this is completely off. Supposed to extend.
Like
display, go back. So it's okay. Let me just use this. So this So here, this we're using the big three. All right. I think this is enough. It's fine. Be careful with that. So on the display, you're seeing the shutter speed. You're seeing this is the aperture, and this is Cine AI. Now with Cine AI, it is the same as the aperture value if you open or you close your sensor, how much light goes in. But now this only affects what you see, but not what you record. You understand? So this is for just what you see, because this is in log. It's not Rec 709. That's why you see the color is a bit washed out. Okay? We'll go into that in details ahead. Now, if you're using 120 frames per second, it will be 250th. This refers to 120 frames per second when you're recording that. Now, you'll ask yourself what will be the best quality, like when you record, what the best quality you can get out of your camera for production or post-production. Now, we're going to look at the settings, the different settings that you need to set your camera to in order to record exactly the highest quality that you will get all what you intend to achieve in post-production. So the best is 4K, always, usually 4K. Can we deliver your final in 4K instead of delivering in HD or SD? 4K is always the standard. Now, FX3, thank you. Then I'll need someone to control this so I can directly, yeah, on the system. Someone who can yeah. So let's go to the menu, the camera settings, so that I'll show you guys. Now, what we talked about is just a brief. The main thing that we're going to is the settings now. If you're handed a camera, what should be the first thing to do is to get the best setting for you. Go to menu. Yes. Go to the first, go back to here, to the camera. Image quality. Yeah, now go back to camera, image quality. Yeah. You see this? Go to image quality. So always the best setting is 4K. Whenever you're recording anything, it's 4K. Obviously, Sony FX3 records 4K. 4K is the highest. It doesn't record 6K or 8K. 4K is the highest. Now, 4K is 3840 by 2160. That is the dimension. So when you go into the image quality, look at the file formats. Let's go to the file format and open file format. Now, whatever you see up there, these are the different settings that you can get different qualities. For example, if you're, let's look at 4K, DCI. 4K DCI. Now, 4K DCI is when you're filming for cinema. It comes, if you ever film something and you see there's black bars on the side, not below, but on the side. Now it's DCI. It's D-squeeze. Now, if you're using a cinema lens, you see that properly when you film anamorphic lens. Sorry, not cinema lens, anamorphic lens. Anamorphic lens is different from this normal lens that you see here. So when you're using anamorphic lens, and then you use DCI 4K, you'll be able to see that effect clearly, and it mostly used for film. And then SIHD. Now this gives you high quality, but it's very heavy. and there are specific cards that you can use for them. If you're using a normal SD cards, like these ones, it will stop. It won't record. It will record for a few seconds and then it will stop. Now, these are the cards that you need to use, but they are very, very expensive. To record this. The next one, which is almost the same, is 4K. Now, it gives you higher bit. It's not easy to play on your computers unless you have a very, very fast computer. Still require this kind of card for you to be able to write on it. If you're using this, it will stop along the way. It won't record. Now, for this kind of card, you can use the HD. HD will record. But of course, you can change the bit rates. Later, I'll show you how to either go higher, 150, 250. But of course, the higher you go, the bigger the file size. Okay? And of course, the better the video quality, the footage quality that you can be able to manipulate in post-production and color grade properly. Others will start falling apart. Okay? The same thing, 4K. 4K is like a bigger sister to the HD, but not i4K. Now, i4K is H265. Now, H265, you cannot play easily on your computer unless you have a very powerful computer. But then if you're using H264, which is a compressed file, it's smaller in size, you can easily play on your computer. So now, this I will show you guys practically later, the file size, and then how best you achieve when you're grading in post, okay? And then also, the same with the 4K. The ones that you see has II, that is H265, okay? Let's look at the... Have you guys heard of 8-bit, 10-bit? 8-bit, 10-bit? Like this camera records in 8 bits or in 10 bits. You've heard about that. You're nodding. Kia. No, not Kia. Your name? Joyce. Have you heard about that? What have you heard, like basically, exactly about 8-bit, 10-bit? The bit. It's in colors, not in details, yes. Sorry? In details. Okay. Now the bits are like depth. How if someone gives you, let's say something that let's say a piece of mattress, and then you squeeze it. However big it is, it becomes small, right? Let's say once you squeeze it, it's 8-bit. You release it's 10-bit. Now it has many dots. Now colors are made of pixels. Now if you're using 10 bits, 10 bits has 1 billion colors, 1 billion in one frame, 1 billion. But 8-bit has 16.7. So meaning once you record in 10-bit, which has higher color depth, when you're color grading it, it will not fall apart. You start seeing some chromatic aberration on the sides and all that. That is if you film in 10-bit. Now Sony gives you that option of choosing 10-bit or 8-bit because it has higher color depth for you to like work with in post-production. Now, let's show you. Can you access color, the bit rate? Have you found it? I'm going to just recording settings. Now, this is how they look like. If you're handed a camera, I think there is 422 10-bit, and then there is a 420 8-bit. Seeing this? 10-bit. That's how they look like. There's 10-bit, and then there's 8-bit. Yours have, first go to video mode. Seeing this? Yes. So later on, I'm going to show you what is file recorded in 10-bit and in 8-bit, and then you'll be able to judge the quality of the footage. So usually a recommended file is 10-bit. 10-bit. You should, whether you're recording for TikTok, Instagram, wherever, should be 10-bit, regardless. Okay? Why would you choose 8-bit if you have capability of filming 10-bit? It gives you higher quality. Hey, you're still looking for it. Sorry, I moved on very fast. Movie settings, recording setting, moving setting. Recording setting. Yeah. You guys know how to find it? You want me to pass the camera around and you find? Okay. We're going to go slowly. Like I said, we're here to show you guys what you can get. Now, this is a part where I need to take you guys step by step. If time doesn't allow us, I hope Bruno will bring me back one day. But this is what you guys need. So when you're given a camera, like, hey, go film something, you know where to find certain things, right? So the most important thing is to set your cameras the best level possible, because that's the foundation. Once you miss it, I made mistakes, a couple of mistakes also. Like, gone out, poorly set the camera, filmed some things, came back, and I couldn't use the footage, and I couldn't go back. I honestly told the client, I was just starting out, like so many years ago, and then I can't do anything. You know, I made a mistake. Good enough it wasn't a wedding, though, because weddings, you can't organize another wedding. So, where is your video? You need to get to the video settings. It's going to be troubling, eh? Do you film with this?
Yeah, but on your podcast.
On your podcast. Now here we are. Now this is a frame right there. Now SQ, I think your camera doesn't have that option. No, it doesn't have, because it's standard. Does it film in log?
Yeah.
It does log, eh? Let's see. I don't think it's there. But I'll have you check it out later. Where has the camera reached? Can you pick the other camera as well? They have the same. There's another camera here. Oh, they're using it. One of these guys to, yeah, someone can. You're done, eh? Menu. Go to camera. Record quality. Movie settings. No, this one. The upper one, sorry. You always go back to the menu, that one. Can you see? So it's 10-bit, 422. Pass it. Let's go back, step back. Go back up to, we'll change the file format to 4K. That one, yes. Now open, go back to movie settings. Movie settings, movie. I want to show something. Now, there's one thing that I want you guys to see. First, go back. Now go back to HD. Go back to file format. HD, that one, the upper one. Open it. And then go to movie settings. Now, you guys have noticed HD has this 50, 42, 10-bit. Now, this is the size, the file size, the recording depth, the file size that HD has. Now, pay attention to these numbers. There's 50, and there's 16. 16, 420, 8-bit, and then there's 50, 422, 10-bit. Now go back to 4K, i4K. Movie settings. You see, this is 250. Now, this is the highest in that setting. If you choose that profile, this means you're going to record the highest color depth. Like when you're color grading, of course, the file will be heavy, very heavy. And if you have a card like this, which is this is 160 GB, you end up probably recording like 1 hour. But then if you choose the other option, you can record up to 6 hours on this. Now, it will affect the size, the quality of your video. And of course, depends on the platform where you're putting the video to. Now, this gives the highest quality when you're recording in i4K. Okay? So now go back. I want to show you something again. Go back to file format. Now, look at 4K, HS 4K. I'll go back to open that. I think the options that you have, it is 4K. It's confusing like a lot, but then pay attention to these numbers, yeah? The higher the number, the better the quality of your footage. So what better choice can you make when choosing the best settings for whatever content you're creating is to look at the setting that gives you the highest quality, which in this case is this you're taking, it gives you 200 by 422 10-bit. Now that is the biggest file size you can record for 4K. Now it is H.264. Remember, there's H.264 bitrate, H.264 and H.265. Now H.265, you can't easily play the file on your computer or play it back. You have to open software or the program that you're going to edit with to play. Okay? Now go back to, let's look at file format. Let's go to let's choose this. The DCI. Now with DCI, you can't send feed, unfortunately. You can't send the feed unless you have using a cinema monitor and then you're using SDI cable, not HDMI. Yes. Any question? Can I have the camera back, please? So note to take, you can take this down so you always remember that. Like when you're using XAVC, it is a small size. HS, it's the smallest size file. But of course, the smaller the file size, the poorer the quality of the output later, okay? Then there is XAVC. XAVC. S, which is a medium file. There's the lighter file, which is HS, and then the medium file, which is S. And then SI is the highest quality. It's the highest. Records bigger size. You know, any this or this as well. Okay, but this is a standard. I always film in this i4K because of the cut that I use. I use this fast cut and gives me the highest quality. Now, the next thing is ISO. Have you anyone here who can explain what ISO is? ISO is the camera in the simplest term, the simplest. ISO. Yes, ISO. Can't even explain with an example. Oh my, want to try? The way you ask, you can't try. You try.
ISO, according to the, like when you hold the camera, it depends on the place we are in and the light the camera is receiving from the natural light. So when the iOS is very high, you play the grains in your protein. When it's very low, it's the more quality protein. The settings will be high.
Now you understand the concept. Anyone else want to try? Anyone? Alexis, want to try? No. You see my specs? This one is just, when I'm outside, it changes to black, turns black. It's to help regulate light that enter in my eyes, because when it's too bright, I can't see. I can't read, and I have to squint all the time. So when I wear this one on, it literally reduces the amount of light that is hitting my eyes, so I can see clearly. Now, the same thing with the camera. When you're looking at ISO, you close it, you're reducing the light. The same way like the curtain. We have curtains in our houses, right? 2 layers. We have the light one, then you have another one. So you may want to just leave the other one on, and then the solid one, you close. The same way as ISO. The lower the value, the darker the image. The higher the value, the brighter the image, right? Does it make sense? Any question? Even our phones do have that, by the way, you know. But most of us use the auto option. You tap the bright area, the light adjusts to the bright area. You tap the dark area, it exposes for the dark area. Do we all know how to get that? Because I want to talk about one important key area is base ISO. Now with Sony cameras, we have the base ISO and then those other standard ones. Anyone here understand what base ISO is? Base? No? ISO. Now, when you look up here, let me use this remote to point. This, now with Sony has 2 base ISO, 800 and 12800. Now, why should you choose to use base ISO or go with this option of using base ISO? Now, because when you're using base ISO, there are only 2 values that the camera allows you to set to regulate light that is hitting your sensor. Now, if you're using 800 is the lowest base, which means you'll get the best quality at the lowest rate without getting noise. How many of you understand noise? Noise in film. You have a question? Yes. I go back. Okay. Now, most cameras, all of us understand ISO. Let me assume that based on the description the explanation that Omar gave, which even any normal camera, whether you're using the cheapest camera, you still use ISO. Even your phone, you still use ISO. But with Sony, there are 2. We have the best ISOs, which in this case, there's 800, which is the lowest value, and 12800, which is the highest value. Now, when you see here, first take it down to 800. You see it's dark. Now, you're recording, whatever it is that the camera is going to record, will record, but with less noise or even no noise at all. Okay? It's dark, yes, but there is no noise. You're safe. And then the next one is 12800. Now, 12800 gives you balanced image. Now you're seeing the whites are not overexposed, the dark is not crashing. You understand? Now this is a highs for base ISO. Now go back to, remove from base ISO, go back to the standard, which has the 100, change from base to flexible ISO. Go to log. Yeah, log. Log shooting. Go to log. Now this is how you find it. Well, let me show you guys from here. You go to, sorry. This image, this logo of a camera is where you find all the important settings of the camera. It's like where you go to begin all your settings. I'm saying log shooting. I'll explain later. Now here we have 3. We have flexible ISO, quick Cine EI, and Cine EI. Now, I'm interested in flexible ISO. Go back to flexible ISO. This is literally almost self-explanatory. Flexible meaning you can adjust, change whenever you want to change, however you want to change, right? It's not the base ISO, which only gives you 2 options. You have the lowest, which is 800, and then the highest is 12800. So open that. Now go back to ISOs. Now you've chosen flexible ISO. Now go back to ISO. Go back to the menu, rather. ISO. No. Go back to the menu. ISO. Perfect. Put ISO here. Open it. Now you're seeing, here we have, with flexible, we have from 160. We have 160, scroll to the highest. Keep going. The higher the value, you see the brighter the image that appears on the screen, right? But the disadvantage of using flexible ISO is if you don't understand the values correctly, you end up with noisy footage later. You get it? But the advantage of using it is that if you don't have an ND filter, how many of you understand ND filters? It's like the shades. It's the same thing that I just explained with this. But this time around, you're not changing the values of your ISO. You're just putting some dark glass in front of your lens to limit the amount of light that is hitting the sensor. You see? Yes. So now with this, most cheap cameras don't have base ISOs. You just have flexible ISO. You have the standard that you can adjust whether you want 100, 200, 250. But then, even though they have flexible ISO, there are also sweet spots that you can choose and still get decent images. Like for Sony here, you can do 640, 650. Go back. Yes, go back to the lowest value. 640. 640. Go down. 640 here. 640? Yes. Now, you can use 640, but then that means you have to introduce lights. That's why I think these lights are here for. But without these lights, and you're using base ISO, you can switch off this light and then crank it to 12,800 and still get decent footage without any noise. Clean footage of any noise. So you need to understand the the differences between the ISOs, the flexible and base ISO. And as a filmmaker, it is always important to use base ISO. But of course, that forces you to now start adding certain things to your bags, yeah? Like ND filters that will help you then regulate lights. Or lights, So if you're filming at 800, you can throw in a few lights so you can get decent images as well. Any question before we proceed? Any question around ISO, base ISO, flexible ISO? No. This is, Bruno, this is the smartest class. No one is asking me questions. You know? Feel free. You have something to say. I can tell.
I'm with you.
You're with me? Anyone? Anyone with me? Like you say, that is with me? No question? Okay, anything that is confusing, tell me. Anything confusing that you want me to clarify? Tony, right?
No.
Paul, you're yawning. Let's stand up and stretch a bit. We are going to continue talking for the next 5 minutes while standing, okay? I hope you guys won't mind. Any question on ISO? Anything at all?
Which one is the best ISO to use? Like we talk about the flexible and the base.
Yeah.
So, in my experience, which one would you recommend when I'm using Sony?
Sony.
Yeah, flexible and then the base.
I would choose base ISO. Yeah, every day, because you don't have to dial into menu and start, checking ISO which one looks better. But then if you're fixed at your base, like for example, you're filming outside, the lowest is 800 in this case. But then your footage is still looking bright. Throw in an ND filter there. A variable ND filter will then help you to regulate the amount of light that is hitting the sensor. You understand variable ND? Variable ND. You don't. It's the ND filter that you adjust the size, like the amount of, how do I even say it? You turn it to open or you turn it to close. Does it make sense? See, like how you focus using the focus ring here. Now that ND, you turn it the same way you turn the focus ring to either reduce the light that is going in, hitting the sensor, or you open and increase the light that is hitting the sensor. Okay? So if you're filming indoor, for example, you can first go back to flexible ISO, to base ISO rather, sorry. Base, go back to camera, go back. No. Yeah, lock settings. Open look. You either turn it off or choose Sony AI. By the way, this is my setting, the favorite setting. So, and this is my camera. Whatever setting that you saw earlier here, that's exactly what I use when I'm filming anything. Whether I'm filming the smallest content for social media, it is always the same. Sony AI, 4K, and I do base ISO. Base. Come back to lock setting. Yeah, the base, put base at 12,800.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, 12,800. Now, when you're using base ISO, you actually, how many of you understand dynamic range? You guys can sit. Can sit down. How many of you understand that? Dynamic range, you probably might have heard terms that people throw around. Dynamic range, this camera has high dynamic range. Or 14 stops of dynamic range, 15 stops. Any? Or it's the first time you guys are hearing anything about dynamic range? The first time? Now, I'm going to try and explain in the simplest way. You see, everyone here is wearing black. Your name? Tony, yes, Tony. See, black that Tony is wearing, it doesn't look black, it's grayish. Because the camera is filming in log profile, it's flat. You'll hear flat profile or log profile. You're filming without color. colors are there, but less. They're not saturated. So any color you see is not exactly how your naked eye or your eye will see. For example, you're seeing black that Tony is wearing, and the black is not black because it's in log. Now, because the Sony FX3 has 14 stops of dynamic range, it is a value between white and black. There's that gray area of black and white. Now, for you to achieve the actual black or actual white is when you reduce this value in post-production to achieve that without crushing the black or without crushing the white. You have a hand, right? No. So, because it is in log, the black looks washed. It is because of the dynamic range of this camera has. So that when you're processing the image in post-production, color grading, your black is not crushed. Have you ever tried color grading and you start seeing weird colors getting into your footage? Now, that is because your camera, the sensor or the camera you guys use does not have higher dynamic range. So the value of the color depth that you have will be crushed, especially if you film like in 8-bit. Remember earlier we talked about 8-bit and 10-bit? Now, add 8-bit and then film in log, then that does not give you room to color grade. Meaning your footage starts falling apart when you start grading. If you want to achieve your black, the actual black, you start introducing a lot of weird things to your black or to any other color, let's say red, blue, because of the depth, the color depth that you chose. Okay? So usually it's advisable to film in log at all time, even if you're very lazy. I'll show you guys how to convert log footage to Rec 709 to start grading from. Because most people choose to film in Rec 709. Rec 709 is what you see, like the color value that your eyes see. If red, your eye is seeing red, it is red. Your eye is seeing blue, it is blue. It doesn't like get close to like, I think this is blue. No, it is blue. Your eyes is seeing blue. But with the log, it gives you flat that when you go into post-production, you'll be able to achieve the blue that you saw, the blue that your eyes saw when you're filming. Okay? So it's always advisable to film in log. So FX series has 14 plus stops of dynamic range because of the value between black and white. Anything bright or anything dark. Question? From which part exactly? The last point I just said. Now, Sony FX3 has 14 stops of dynamic range. So others are, I think it's 10, 8, but for FX3, I think FX32 has 14 stops of dynamic range. Anyone who can confirm that? Bruno? I think FX30 as well has 14 stops of dynamic range. Yeah. So it gives you, the point to note is gives you lowest noise, cleanest image quality, and best color accuracy. Remember I said if it's blue, it has to be blue. You shouldn't be like, I think this is blue, turquoise or anything. It should be blue. So it gives you that exact color. Okay, it's also ideal for professional production because you can choose the kind of color that you want for your content. Okay. Now for flexible ISO, like it's you have the exposure control. Like you saw earlier, it starts from 200. There's 200. There's 300. There's 400. There's 640, all the way up to 4,000. I think 40,000, something like that. So it's flexible. You can choose whenever you want. You can change anytime you want. It's useful for changing light environment. For example, if you're filming outside and outside the cloud cover will come and then before you know it, the cloud is gone. The sun is right in your faces. So you can be able to dial in quickly. So it's good for filming outside because you can be able to adjust quickly. It's also ideal for events, and of course when filming events, why go to Cine where you're using base ISO. No, you can just do your use flexible ISO where you can just adjust quickly. Okay. Now, This is just quick comparison for those who are writing. Image quality is excellent. That is for best ISO. But flexible, it's good. Yeah, you just have to know your sweet spot. 640, 200, or 12, 800. And you have to be very, very careful when choosing those values because of the noise you will introduce to your footage. So for base ISO, less noise, gives you less noise, obviously. But of course, for flexible ISO, if you don't know how to set your camera properly, you introduce noise to your footage. Probably you may even notice during post-production or color grading. Unfortunately not, because I just checked, that is not there. But we'll figure out together, but it doesn't have that. Outside. Now inside, remember the lowest value will always give you the best quality. For example, I said 640. Now if you set your camera 640 in this environment and it's dark, the best thing to do is introduce lights. Okay? If you don't introduce lights, but you decide to increase your ISO, you're introducing noise to your footage. Okay?
When I use white balance, using studio lights.
Yes. Lights. You mentioned lights. Because with the lights, you can always either remove some lights or increase the lights based on what you're seeing. Okay? So you said you use studio lights. What would be your ISO in the studio studio space?
I use white balance.
Yes, the white balance is a different thing, but your ISO, where do you pack it? At 640, 200, 100, or 800?
800 to 640.
But you don't go beyond 800?
Yeah.
Now, because it's still the same technique, the lower the value, the better the quality. But of course, you have to have lights. It may not be the same case when you're filming outside. Outside, of course, the lowest is better because you don't have to start introducing lights unless you want to how many of you understand shallow depth of field? Now those are the small terms that probably we are advanced. Now let me just try and explain. Have you ever seen a subject that is clear in front and everything behind is blurred? Now that is shallow depth of field. It's intentional. You can set. So the higher the value set in your camera, which is the lower the value of your f-stops, the subject in front becomes more visible and anything behind are less visible. Now this is advanced. You guys will learn when time allows, not today though. But yes, that also goes back into settings, your ISO and your f-stops. Okay? There is a 1, 2, 3. You can even open your sensor wider to 2.2, 2.6. Then you see everything, or you can lower it down to f1.4. And then everything becomes blurred. Okay? Question before we proceed? I stop? Which one?
This one.
You want to remove it?
No, turn it back on.
Oh, sorry. All right. So I was still giving you the tips, the important key points on using either base ISO or flexible ISO. Now, base ISO has the maximum dynamic range. Like for example, if the camera is 14 stops, it gives all the 14 stops. It's nothing like you're getting 10, And then for flexible ISO, it reduces reduces some of the values, some of the richness of the video code, of the footage quality that you will get when you're using base ISO. You cannot get all the dynamic range that you should have got. Okay, Stanby commercial a year ago, it was this. Yeah, it's small. Some clients will be like, why are you paying all this money and you're showing up with a baby camera? It is not about the size. It's about what it records. Yes, so I use that for commercial. So yes, base ISO was the settings that I chose. It also, for flexible, it's good for events and documentary. So documentary, you probably don't have enough time to like dial in there and set, because once you're filming outside and you chose your sweet spot to be 640, which is always the case for me, you can film the entire time without going to change all the time and all that. So it's good for documentaries or events when you're using flexible ISO. Okay? Now, key takeaways. Now, again, base ISO gives you the best quality, the best, without a doubt, because of the high dynamic range that you're enabling the camera to film at. And then also, it offers greater exposure, flexibility. You can adjust your exposure on the go. How many of you understand run and gun? If you ever had a word of, someone saying, I do run and gun, like a lot of run and gun. It's just, you hold the camera, you point and shoot, you're always on the move. It's run and gun. So you can adjust your settings quickly. You don't have like a lot of time to go into menu and start changing. No. You can just, even with your eyes closed, adjust your eyes or aperture and then just move on, okay? Now, Bruno, wait, is Bruno here? I'm going to ask Bruno if I'm allowed to share the notes with you. So the notes that I have, I'll share with you guys. So even if you're taking notes, just take notes for you to remember. But if he says, yes, I'm allowed to share my notes with you guys, I'll give you everything you need to know about FX3, what we've talked about, the base ISO, flexible, how you get the best settings for whatever platform you guys will be filming for. I'll share with you guys. Okay? I wanted to ask Bruno if it's a break time so that a couple of people who are yawning gets time to stretch. Or Bruno,
Yes.
what time is break time?
It's actually we could have it now. Then just like a few minutes, maybe 15.
Because what I want to do, if they go out for a break and then you come back, you film something in log and Rec 709, and then I show them exactly the difference between the log, what you achieve in post, and the Rec 709. Agreed? Because it's pointless for us to just keep talking and move on without showing. Yeah, we're supposed to show you guys to see what you'll get. So I have to start saving to get a Sony as well, for those who don't have Sony cameras.
Yeah,
Okay?
sure.
So the break is now. Because once you look at the picture profile, will then take us to doing the demos, the practical things. So you get to see what happens. Picture profile. Guys, the session is on. So Sony cameras has got different picture profiles. Like how when you pick any camera, you see standard, neutral, what else? I don't remember standard, neutral because I don't use others. There is the ones that you set yourself. You create your own on settings and then you name it. But for Sony, of course, the newer Sony has got, like I said, you have standard Cine AI, you have the log profile. Remember I mentioned log profile? Add up log 3, log 2. Okay, there is a S-log 2, which was the old one, came with the FX, not FX, sorry, S7 3s, S7 2s, S-log 2. Now FX3 has S-log 3. First go to picture profile. Now S-log 3 is where you find the log profile that we talked about. I mentioned log profile. Now the S-log 3 is the profile you get. You change your camera to achieve the log footage, the flat footage. You get it? I talked about it, but I did not show you. Now I want to show you because you've understood what log profiles is. Now I want to show you how you can get it. Yeah, go to menu. They need to be able to see, so you need to send the feed. Yeah. Send information over the feed. So you literally send everything that your camera is seeing to the screen. There, log settings. Up there, Cine AI. No, sorry, go back. Down. Yes, open that. Are you seeing? There's slog3, there's sgamut3.cine/slog3. This is also another profile. Yeah. It's almost the same, but this one gives you higher value, like better, quality. It's like how you go to, I'm sorry to use this, you go to, let's say KFC, the chicken that you get at KFC will be different from the chicken that you get downtown, but they're all chicken, right? But of course, the quality, how they're made. So the same thing with this. So you have Gamut 3. Now, Gamut 3, this is it's a Sony profile, like how you see Blackmagic. Blackmagic has got, they have, sorry, I'm not supposed to mention any other cameras, but let me not compare with other cameras. But Sony, this is for Sony. There are only two. Whether you're going to get the highest, most expensive Sony, Brunos or whatever, you're still going to get these low profiles, what you choose. So we have slog3 and then gamut 3.cine and then gamut 3/slog3. They are literally almost the same. So this is where once you select this, you get the log profile that we talked about. Now earlier on, before we switched the camera to log, to this setting or send this feed up on the screen, you were seeing yourself in your actual colors, right? That is Rec 709. First, send the camera back to what the camera was seeing. The actual feed that was on screen, the live feed. Yeah. Now, it went back to log profile, but earlier on, you were seeing yourselves in Rec 709, which is the actual color that your eye sees. Okay? So now this is log profile. Now, once you film in log profile, it gives you the flexibility to work in color grading. When you're grading the footage, black will be black, red will be red, without it being crushed. The other is S-Cinetone, which is also another profile. No, go back. Go to log. Yeah, log, Cine AI. Now, remember earlier we said flexible eyes or quick Cine AI quick. This is the same. This and that is the same. Now, I don't want to go into details because it will confuse you guys. Okay? Now, this is advanced. Cinetone, S-Cinetone, Cine AI, quick Cine AI. But the easiest for your level is to understand the flexible ISO. Now, you turn it off completely. Turn the log profile off. Now go back to, now you see, the camera is seeing exactly what we are seeing. Now, this black is already black. Red is already red. And when you go into post-production, you're color grading your footage. You will not get that room for you to work in when grading. You will start crashing black. So you try to expose by using him. You're introducing noise in other areas. You're trying to see this white hard dress is hot. It's crashing. You see this white area? Now for you to grade and try and reduce the brightness on that dress, you're crashing the black. You're introducing, everything is getting dark. But then if you film in log, first go back to log, turn the log profile on. Now you see how white, it's not even white, what's that? Cream. You see? You can see some details on the skirt. That means when you go back in post-production, you can be able to achieve balanced image. Black is not crashing, white is not crashing, even her dress is not, you can still see the pattern on the skirt. Now you understand the difference between the log and then the Rec 709. So it's always important to film in log so you can achieve the best color when grading. So I want us to look at one last thing, and then we go into trying. Yeah? We're looking at autofocus. This is also another important area that you need as a content creator. Go back, open the menu. Go back to camera. No, go back. Step back.
Like this?
Yeah. Stay. No, go back and stay there. Now we have menu focus and also autofocus. How many of you, okay, most of our phones, like they have autofocus, unless you turn off the autofocus option so you can manually focus by tapping the area that you want, okay? But then if you don't turn off the autofocus, the camera will just choose whatever brighter or something that is standing out in front of it and then focuses itself on that particular subject. So also Sony has one of the best autofocus capability more than other cameras. You can even decide to lock it to the eye. If, let's say I'm filming Tony and I tap his eye from the viewfinder and lock it there. Even if he's moving and there are 100 other people around, the focus will still follow him at all time. It also has option for like animal. If you're tracking, let's say a cat running around, you lock it on a cat, it will track a cat only. Because it uses AI to track the subject. You look confused, Omar. Ask. You look confused. You didn't understand. Now let me show you. Can I get another battery for this? This one, the battery is off. I'll try with you. Now, you turn, go back to the screen. You focus on her eye. Just tap her eye from the screen.
From the screen?
Yeah. First change to autofocus. Now tap her eye. Just the screen. The screen is off. Oh, unfortunately. Okay. I'm going to just show you guys one by one.
Let's use that one, but using this.
You still need to set to send the feed. So it's okay. Now, for example, if let's say can you stand up, please? You want to be a dummy. You stand here. Now, the focus is the eye. I've selected our eye. I see. So even if I move away, I keep moving, the focus will stay on her. I see. The eye. Even if I move away on him, it's the eye. It will not pick him because I did not set to his eye. It is her. I go back to her, it will look for her eye. If it loses it, you just tap the eye and focus himself. So this way, even if you move back, go back, the camera is following her, the focus is following her. You see? Now come forward. You just tap. Now if you don't want to focus on her, you want to focus on this banner, you just tap this banner. It tracks the face. Now it's tracking the face of that girl holding the camera. So now it tracks the face. You can choose the face or the eye. I want you guys to try. The guy is behind, you try. Don't go away, come forward. You have a question? Sorry? You want to observe? Okay. No, I'm bringing the camera to you to try as well. You're saying you just tap tap whatever area you want to focus, just tap whether you want her. So you can choose if, for example, you're actually filming, let's say she's reporting, she's a reporter, with a microphone, and there are so many people moving around, and you want the focus to remain on her. You just tap and lock the focus on her eye. The camera will always track her, whether she's moving forward or moving backwards. You just worry about framing her, compositing her, and then the focusing, the camera will do the rest of the job. Okay? So that is also another benefit that Sony camera gives you. You get it? It has very, very good focus, autofocus. You see? But of course, the lens has to be, you cannot use the autofocus option if you're using a cinema lens. The cinema lenses are not autofocus, they're manual focus lenses. So if you want to achieve the autofocus capability of Sony, like to the level where this is showing you right now, you have to use an autofocus lens. Probably even Sony compatible lens. If there are some lenses that, even if you're using them and they're not Sony compatible lenses, you will not achieve the autofocus properly. Probably using adapter, for example, you're using, let's say, a third-party lens like that's Sigma lenses are compatible with Sony, so you can still achieve 100% autofocus option. Which the other one is Sigma, and this is a G Master. Anyone wants to try? No. So all you have to do is just tap. You just see, like here, you just tap and lock to an eye. You just tap and hold. It locks to that eye. Yes. You see? So now this one is the face because you're far. Now if you want to lock it to the eye, you just no, this is how fast it can go. So you go closer, lock the eye, because eye is a tiny detail that you have to be closer to lock it. But if you're far, like from here, it locks to the face instead. So now even if she's moving, it's only her face that gets focused and the camera will track. All you have to do is worry about compositing, framing her. You frame her, the camera will do the rest of the job to focus. Okay? Anyone wants to try? Okay. Do you still want her to stand? Okay. So the continuous autofocus depends on the priority where you want to use as a focus point. You can use the eye, you can use the face, Then it will recognize the human face. For example, if let's say you're filming her among animals and you choose the human face, her face as the option. So the camera will only look for human face and tracks. It will not move to the animal and focus on the animal. No, it will be the human face. That's what Sony gives you as well. Any question before we proceed? I want to use the remaining time to try and film something and then also show you how this works. But for autofocus, you guys are trying now. But for the low profiles, how it enhances work and how you can use, it's what we're going to do next. And then we'll call it a day. It will take most of the time. What softwares, editing softwares you guys know? Premiere Pro. Hey, you only taught Premiere Pro. DaVinci. How many of you understand that DaVinci Resolve? Okay, how many of you know how to use Premiere Pro? Some people are not putting up their hands. You guys are in between, or you CapCut? Huh? Filmora. But professionally, DaVinci or Premiere Pro, if you're going that direction, you need to be there. CapCut, Filmora, those are just added advantage when you use your phone. You're on the go, editing on the go. Okay? But professionally, Because now CapCut, you won't be able to grade log if you're filming log. You can't. I can't achieve that. You just film, cut quickly the same way here CapCut. You just cut, tap, 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 throw it wherever you want to throw it. But professionally, you need to be able to film, sit down, edit properly, and grade it properly. Then you can achieve the highest quality possible. But if you're filming Rec 709, yeah, of course, most contents are right because people who film content, they don't understand. That's why sometimes you see terrible looking footage on TikTok or Instagram. You guys will beat them because you understand the workflow. Some of them don't understand the workflow, just know how to press record on a camera on a phone, cut it and throw it out there. This is why you guys will beat them. Because you understand the workflow, professional workflow, and how you can achieve the best possible quality. Okay? So that's what I'm going to show you. Whether you grade or you edit on Premiere Pro or DaVinci Resolve, whether you like it or not, you have to learn any of the two professionally. And the level where you guys at, it is still okay. But if you guys have personal computers, just take time and teach yourself how to do these things. Because let's say, for example, I'm hiring, and let's say you're 20 of you applied for the same job, and I'm interviewing. I'll ask you, which software do you use for editing? They will always ask that question if you're looking for a job. They will always ask, what software do you use? Start saying, CapCut, Filmora, be like, this one. Yeah. Because some of the recommendation comes with terms. You must be able to know how to edit on Premiere Pro. The tools, you must know them, the professional tools. Final Cut, Premiere Pro, Avid or DaVinci Resolve. Those ones are listed there. If your CV does not have any of those, don't even try to apply for any video editing or producing or content creation professional job other than someone be like, you manage my socials. Here is a phone. Just follow me around. That one is okay. Even phones, iPhones recording log now. There are phones, I think some, the other phones are called what? Androids. Even Androids. There are some Androids that record in log. They have introduced log profiles to their videos. So log gives you a lot, give you like a very big space to work professionally. Okay? So you should know how to film in log, how to color grade in log, how to convert the log to Rec 709. That is very, very important. Very, very important professionally. So we may spend the remaining hours just trying to take you guys through how to, we've shown you how to set the camera to film log. Now we're going to show you how to expose for log, and then we'll show you how to grade log. I think that will be enough before you start developing bald head like me. Okay? Question before we move? All right, we are going to film something. You set the camera to log. I still need a battery for the other camera. Okay. You guys can borrow another, but I think there's a battery here. But make sure you give it back to Bruno. It has a label. Yeah. We're going to film. You need someone to volunteer and be that person, the dummy that the camera will record. We're going to do two scenarios. One with the backlight, like the windows are all white, and then one that doesn't have that. So you see how to expose for the two scenarios, and then when you go in pause, you're able to still achieve what you want. Okay? So we're going to use this camera, and you're going to come and sit here. So you guys, whatever the camera is seeing, you guys will be able to see from up there. Face the camera. First, raise the tripod up. It's okay. Now what you're going to do, let's go to our look setting. Make sure it's in do base ISO. Cine AI. Yeah, that's okay. You go back. Go to the file format. Do the highest. Battery exhausted. There's another battery here. You turn on focus assist. Focus assist. Sorry. Let's focus. You're going to see something on that. It doesn't show. Yeah. Now, it's auto. It's fine. So it's okay. I want you guys to pay attention to this. Now, this is in log. Seeing how she's looking. Now, pay attention to the brighter areas. Look at the window. Look at her dress. Her dress is just shiny. The reason why it's looking like that because it's sort of like shiny. I think this. Just have the photographic memory of how she looks. Now, because we're filming in Cine AI, earlier on I said this will confuse you guys, but this is the basic knowledge you should know. Any value that is more than 2.0, meaning your footage is overexposed. It's actually crashing. The whites are all messy. But then if the best is between 1.7 and 2, that means it's exposed properly. The same as this room right now. This room is exposed properly. That's why you're seeing this. You're exposing by what you see. And this is log. So I want you to change to Rec 709. Pay attention to these details. I think there's the B alpha and then the areas where B alpha is written. You see even the folds, like how the t-shirt is folded. You see all these details are being shown. Even the details of our hair, you can still see that, okay, the dread is not, like there's some pattern. Now you change to Rec 709. Go to that standard. Turn off log profile, Cine AI, turn it off. Are you seeing the black? It's all crashed. The black is just, you can't even see details of the folds within a shirt. The same with this guy right there. You're seeing the white? The white is literally so bright. Look at the wall. The details are gone. Now, the same thing when you're filming outside and you don't see details, the cloud, the details in the sky. That means your footage is overexposed. Okay? Now, this is the difference between exposing or filming in low profile and this. Now, for you to get this in post-production and achieve what the log or what the camera was seeing when it was in log, you will not get that when filming when you're not filming low profile, Rec 709. This is Rec 709. Do you understand Rec 709? Because I may be throwing words that you guys don't understand. Rec 709. Now this is the color space where, like, our eyes, we see that color is in Rec 709. It's the color that we see. So our eyes see that in Rec 709. Okay? Yeah. Now, I want you to change that scenario. How long is this cable? It's short, eh? It's very short. I wanted it in reverse. The camera goes that side, and then you see how to expose. When you use low, and then the light is coming from a source. For example, the source is the window. Now, remember we are filming from the back. We're using the back light. The source is behind the subject, behind her. And you are able to achieve what you saw on the screen in both log and in Rec 709. Which one would you choose? Would you choose this or the other one? And then you give me a reason why. Just briefly, quickly, briefly, anyone can say that. Would you choose this or the other one? And why? The other one. Okay. But then if you don't know how to edit in DaVinci Resolve or Final Cut, and you're still editing using CapCut on your phone, this will still be the choice. But then the disadvantage is you lose some details. Okay, and even seeing her face, it means you need to bring more lights. Start placing lights in front here for you to start to get her face lit properly, to get some of the details that are lost within the t-shirt she's wearing. You'll need a lot. But then if you're filming in log, you can get away with so much, without light. You don't even have to light her face. You still get a workable footage. Now that we cannot get the front. So now what you do, just record and then play back. Yeah. No, just remove the cable, go and record, and then you use this cut. Now you turn the other side. So you're going to record both in log and Rec 709, and then we'll show them. Can even do just inhale to be quick. Run and gun. Let me talk about run and gun. Just film a minute in log and a minute in Rec 709. So guys are saying this is low and without light, and the light source is the window. You're saying her face is lit properly, yeah? Oh. You can't pause. So I was saying this, you can even still get away with this footage without even carrying any extra light, because you're seeing all the details, even the lit, even the white shirt. See, I am here, but the white is not overexposed. It is still in the decent sweet spot. The black as well. Remember we talked about dynamic range is a value between the black and white. What is in between, that you can be able to achieve and in post-production and have one line. Okay, now play the other one. Are you seeing this? Are you seeing how ugly it looks? No, not you. No, not you. It's It's actually this whole thing. Yes, it has color. People will be like, hey, this one has color, has more color. No. Professionally, you understand it, or be like, no, this one is better. Now, if we were to ask anyone, someone who does not understand anything to do with logo or whatever, will be like, I choose this one, and ask why. We tell you it has color. They will not see that, okay, the blacks are crushed. There's no detail. If you start grading, you start seeing noise coming in the black because you want the black to, to look appealing. If the white is overly exposed, you'd want to get the details of the white. You start reducing the exposure, the brightness, everything will start falling apart. But when you have a log footage, you can achieve so much. Okay? Any question? Because I want to give you guys time to film yourselves, and then we'll try that for a few minutes to show you in post, and we are going to use DaVinci Resolve, and I'll try to use Premiere as well for those who use Premiere. Okay? Question? Nothing, right? I think we have 4 Sonys, 4 FX3s, 4.3. You guys are going to film yourself. I think anywhere you want, whether you want to film from inside here, you film from outside. But they're going to try the 2 different scenarios. You're going to set the camera to film in Rec 709, and then also film the same thing that you're filming in log. And then when you come back, we'll try and grade them to show you how things will start falling apart when you use Rec 709. Agreed? So let's use 30 minutes. You can use the same opportunity to explore the camera. Like I said, if it's not broken, can be fixed. Play around with the settings, change a few things and see what effect it brings to your footage when you change them. But of course, remember what we talked about here from the start. Camera settings, the actual settings for whatever platform you're filming for, and then the settings to get the best possible quality, whether the highs or the lows. I don't know whether all the cameras have got cards, but yes, they don't. Doesn't have. This one has got one. Where is Bruno? Okay? You guys, your 30 minutes has started, so you can group yourselves. Okay? Is Bruno around there? Is Bruno around there? 30 minutes, eh? We will not be looking for you guys after 30 minutes, so. Here's quality that the camera cannot handle. I mean, the card can't handle. HD. Yes, that one will record. Anything like higher than that, it will stop recording. So I'm going to demonstrate it using DaVinci Resolve, and then I'm also do the same using Premiere. Okay? Yeah. What I'm saying is that I'm going to, remember we talked about log profile and all that. So I'm going to show you how to achieve that Rec 709 look, that color look from log to Rec 709. And then I'll show you guys how your Rec 709 footage will look like when you grade. Okay? It's the difference between grading a Rec 709 footage and a log footage. So let's start with log footage. But for those who don't know how DaVinci Resolve looks like, this is how DaVinci Resolve looks like. This is the interface. Okay? The new one has even the photo page. You can edit photos as well. I don't know why it keeps going off. There's a photo page, cut page, edit page. This way you do all visual effects fusion, color page, audio page, and your delivery, the final. Okay? So since we're not going to use photos, I use directly the color page. That's why you see the color page is enabled, and our video is put in the timeline. So this is the edit page of DaVinci Resolve. This is how it looks like, but not to confuse you guys, all I'm going to show you is how to convert a log file to a Rec 709. So we are not going into details of how the software works. It's a lot of work. It is just showing you so that you guys will be able to appreciate filming in log other than Rec 709. So regardless of the software that you will use or probably using right now, whether Premiere or DaVinci Resolve or Final Cut, you still need to convert from log to Rec 709. Okay? So now this is log. We are on log now. We want to move to Rec 709 where you start grading from. So the first thing you do is to convert the log file to Rec 709. So we go to color page. DaVinci Resolve uses what we call nodes, like how for those who know how to edit photos on Photoshop, see that there are layers. There are layers. After Effects has layers. Now DaVinci Resolve uses nodes, so you can stack that. This is one of the nodes. So you can stack as many as you can possibly do. So for example, I'm going to use just 2 nodes, and I'll add a third later and explain why I've added a third. Now this is your first one. Let me add the second one. Now, since Sony records on Sony log profile, DaVinci Resolve works on DaVinci wide gamut profile. Again, this will confuse you, but it's the. Let me use the closest example. Is and diesel. I think that is close. Now, DaVinci Resolve is made by Blackmagic. The Blackmagic company, the company that produces Blackmagic cameras, all those. So they created a software for editing videos. So now the software is made in a way that for it to achieve the highest possible quality that you'd want to see, you have to convert to the profile that fits within the DaVinci or Blackmagic ecosystem. In this case, we need to convert it to DaVinci wide gamut, then we convert to Sony, then Rec 709. It's just a pipeline. Like what you put here, like you've ever been to a manufacturing industry? They put a raw material here, then what gets out the other side is finished product, right? But then there are some steps in between for you to get the finished product at the end. So I'm going to show you this. I'm going to use, there is what we call color space transform. Now it's a pipeline again. Like now those are the things that are in between for you to achieve the final product at the end. Okay. Now our video is a raw product, and it's the first step here in the first node. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add color space transform to this first node. Now this has the input color space, the output color space, and then the gamma. Remember earlier we showed you the S-Cine gamma, S-Log3. Now that is a pipeline for Sony. Now for Blackmagic or DaVinci Resolve, it has the all here, the all written here, the input color space. There is a Blackmagic film Gen 1, Gen 4, Gen 6. Now when you've ever used Blackmagic and you open the settings, you will see that under profile. Like the Gen 4 all the way to the latest, which I think is Gen 5. Yes, Gen 5. So here, since we're using DaVinci Resolve, which is the Blackmagic platform, we have to convert our Sony log to DaVinci Resolve workspace. Then we go back to Sony workspace. Now this is how it will happen. Now our input color, in this case, we shall put the same input color that you had on your camera, which was S-Log3. So for Sony is gamut. So you're telling the DaVinci Resolve like, hey, this is the setting that I use when I was filming this. You get it? You're telling the software that, hey, this is what my camera setting was when I was filming. So here, our input color space was this one. Are you seeing it? Yes. So if you open the camera, you still have cameras there. You can double check, verify the settings. Supposed to be, or it was at on Sony S Gamut 3.cine, which was our input color space. Then the input gamma, here is S-Log3. Remember S-Log3? When you selected the Gamut, you went to S-Log3. Remember? You guys, are we together? Oh, you're lost. Now we are going into exactly what we looked earlier, the settings that I showed you guys earlier. So here we have S-Log3, which is this one. Select S-Log3. Now, you see the changes in the image? It's bringing a bit of color. See the white area. I chose this image, this clip, specifically because of what it shows. The white looks overly exposed, and the black is packed where it's supposed to be. Now, you come to the output color space. Now, you're converting it to what DaVinci now understands. You've told it that, hey, my camera setting was this when I was filming. Now this is where I want it to go. Now you come to output color space. Now it's getting out. Remember the pipeline example I gave you? That in between you add oil, you add color, you add. By the time it gets out, you have actual product that you want. So here our output color space is going to be DaVinci Wide Gamut because we're using DaVinci color space. Color platform, but the pipeline. So in this case, it's going to be DaVinci Wide Gamut, this one. And then our output will be intermediate. There is no way you can get a shortcut. It's a pipeline that you have to follow. Of course, you can break the rules. You know, in film, you first know the rule, then you break it. You don't break what you don't know. You break what you know, right? Now, remember this was the first node. We were just interpreting the footage. This was just interpreting, telling it that, hey, this is how it was filmed and this is where I want it to go. Now you come to the second node. You add color space transform as well. Again, it's a pipeline that you should always remember. Now, this time you're picking from DaVinci Wide Gamut. You already told it that this is where I want to go. Now, the next node, you're going to pick from DaVinci Wide Gamut. Now you transform it to Rec 709. I'll show you how it's done. From Wide Gamut, which was the input that you're feeding into the next node. Then the colors, the gamma, input gamma, DaVinci Intermediate. And then the output color space. Now this is where you see, remember it has introduced some colors now. From the low, the flat, colorless footage to something that has color. Now in this case, our color, the color that we understand is Rec 709. Output gamma. Now you have to understand this fully. There are different output gamma. If you're putting it for, let's say, Facebook, TikTok, whatever, you will choose Cine Gamma 2.4. Now, 2.4, sorry, excuse me, it's a broadcast color. Now, what you will see here is what you will see on your phone, is what you will see on TV. Question, have you ever shot anything and graded it and it looked really nice on your computer, and then when you played on phone or on TV, the color looks different? Has it ever happened? Yeah. This is where the mistake comes from. If you don't convert it into the right output gamma, when you put it on TV or put it on the screen, you will see a different color. You start asking yourself what went wrong because you did not convert it well. Okay? Remember earlier I told you guys that whether you are a pro on CapCut or whatever, you cannot run away from professional editing softwares like DaVinci Resolve, Premiere Pro, Final Cut, and Avid, and all others that are available. You must learn them so that you can be able to deliver well. Now remember I told you that these are only two nodes, but I'm going to introduce a third node. Now a third node will then try and fix this. You know? Yes.
How about 2.2? Where does it happen?
2.2. For broadcast it's 2.4, but 2.2 also depends on where you're putting it still. But to my knowledge, broadcast colors is 2.4, which is the standard. You know, those broadcast things used to have rules. Like I remember telling you guys that I remember one time I delivered something in 30 frames and then it refused to play, and I should have delivered in 24 frames per second. So yeah, those are the rules that you cannot break. Like you find yourself being, hammered properly. So now I'm introducing a third node in the middle. Now this node is for exposure. Remember, whoever filmed this did not balance the shot properly. And because it was filmed in log and it was seen in AI, I will be able to get details of this world. This is how I will do it. You add another node. Sorry, should be after. Now this node is where I'm going to fix the exposure before even fixing white balance, because you also have to fix the white balance. It's too warm, it's not natural, you can't even see it. Okay, so now with the DaVinci Resolve I can be able to use this HDR wheels to fix the white balance, the exposure. The global affects whatever you see. The same way with your ISO, when you aperture, when you're opening, the image becomes brighter, but then when it becomes brighter, you're introducing lights to the brighter areas and overly exposing the brighter areas. You understand? And then also, the black or the dark areas will be seen properly, but you're introducing lights to your bright area. So now, since it was recorded in log, I am able to pull this down. You can even see. Now, this was before and after. Still not yet perfect. I can still tune it from here. I can either tune from this wheel, by using gamma, lift. Now here, offset increases everything. Like you want to increase all the lights, like generally, whatever you see. But then gain, you're trying to increase the bright area. Get it? Gamma is the mid. And then whatever is dark, this is why you use the lift. The lift is exposing anything that is black. I see? So this is close to something that we can work with. I think from the original, out of the camera, to that, I was able to reduce some of the light on the white areas, and then also fix her face. See, her face was being burnt, the light. Now the face looks okay. Now, if this was shot in Rec 709, cannot achieve this. I've achieved this without even introducing noise anywhere. Okay? Now this is the advantage of filming in log to filming in Rec 709. Okay? Question? Are we all together? Now, you can add another node for white balance. Either before or after, still the same. You can decide to cool it a bit. I see. This is the simplest explanation I can give when using log and try to do the white balance and then fix the exposure. You get it? So should I try the same with Premiere?
Before you go to Premiere,
Yeah.
let's say the shot was already in
Rec 709. Okay.
Put the color input.
Let's try that. But there's also a workaround. Let me show you guys how to go around it. I see. It already has color. But the black is crushed, you're not seeing details. Pay attention to the screen. I mean the windows. Are you seeing any details? There's a tree, by the way. There are some tree branches that you see, But then because first it was exposed to him and it was shot in Rec 709, whatever left in the bright area is literally gone. Like you can't see it, and you can't even bring it back. I'm going to show you how. So let's convert the same process. Now this one, since it's Rec 709, you're going to do exactly that. You're going to give it Rec 709. Input gamma, Rec 709, because it's exactly what the camera filmed. Okay? And then the output color space, you have to convert it to DaVinci Wide Gamut. Again, DaVinci Intermediate, which is a pipeline, like I said. You see? This is the workaround that I meant. But even if you try so much, like you're trying to fry the same sauce that was fried yesterday. You want to fry again and add some soup, salt, and it will not be as nice as if you had fried the original sauce. Okay? Now, the middle node is for exposure, so I'm going to skip that. I'm going to throw a color space transform on this again. Remember, you're telling it that, okay, it's already DaVinci Resolve, DaVinci Intermediate. So by doing that, you put DaVinci Wide Gamut, input gamma intermediate, and then the color space now, Rec 709. You go back to exactly what you want the final to look like, which in this case, Rec 709. And then the output gamma, remember we talked about in 2.4, gamma 2.4. It's exactly what the camera shot. Nothing changed. Even when I turn off the what? This is the first, sorry. This with all the nodes off. This is how the image looked straight from the camera. And this is how it looks now after adding the nodes, that color space transform and all that, because it's exactly what the camera shot. Now, if I want to try and get the leaves, the part of the trees that you see out there, that means I have to try and reduce exposure on the window, which in this case, I can't achieve that. I see, I can't get anything. Remember earlier with the log footage, I tried and reduce light on our face and then got some details of the wall. In this case, I can't, because everything is baked in, like it's cooked. There's no way I can fix that. Now, if I'm to also increase, let's say I want to try and get some details on the shirt. Of course, by using global, I'm introducing lights to him, but introducing grain on the black. You may not see it from the TV, but I can see it from here. It has introduced some grains to the black. You get it? It's not clean. So that leaves you with the option either to choose log or Rec 709. But as a creative, you always need space. You always need room to be creative. Fix the colors, come up with some crazy looks. Of course, once you use log, you activate that dynamic range that the camera gives you. Okay? Question? Question? No question, right? If there is no question, we've come to the end of our training today.